Candyman. Excellently written, excellently acted, excellent narrative, very effective jump scares, lots of twists and turns. 10 out of 10, 100% Candyman. Alright, fast forward 29 years later, we get the pseudo-sequel of Candyman, which was written by, or co-written by Jordan Peele, and co-written and directed by Nia DaCosta, who is going to helm both Captain Marvel and the Marvels, or whatever the other one's called. Or Captain Marvel 2, I should say. So, this sequel, Candyman, this is going to be very, very spoiler heavy. Okay? So, the original Candyman, I absolutely loved. I just watched it for the very first time ever, just a couple nights ago on my big screen, full screen HD and all. It was phenomenal. The atmosphere for its horror aesthetics, astounding. The direction, the writing, the twists and turns, the narrative, it was all just so encapsulated with just intrigue, and I was enthralled and enthused the entire way through. The new Candyman is the wokest piece of crap I have ever watched. Let's start with the fact that this film, Candyman, the new Candyman, the writing is not written for the narrative. It's not written for the story. It's not even written for the film. It is written to make a point. It is written to show and detail police brutality, white privilege, and then all other agendas out there. You got all the cultures. You got black people, gay people, white people, and then cops. Guess what? All white cops, every single cop, white cop. And guess what the cops do? The entire film, they harm and immediately murder black people. And guess... The thing is, too, when there's a black person that's killed off, and it's extremely rare in this film, Candyman, in 2021, a black person being killed in this film is extremely rare. I think 2 black people were murdered in this throughout the entire film. There were about 10 to 15 deaths. This is not a multicultural film, to be honest. Yeah, you have black people, white people, and even gay people, but that's the most culture that you have in this film. Outside of that, the entire killing list, the entire, set aside 1 or 2, white people, all of them. And then you have the cops. Oh, they gotta be white. They have to be white. This story, this film is so badly written. I hate this film. This is not a film. Candyman, the new Candyman, is not a film. It is an agenda. It is a political push. That's all that it is. Okay? I'm not against police brutality in a story. I'm not against blacks rising up in a story. Okay? I love Black Klansmen, most Spike Lee films. It's really an action comedy, and it's not really agenda driven, but Django Unchained, I love that film. So this is not me being racist or anything. This is me explaining, objectively speaking, in the new Candyman, you have 2 black deaths, and the rest are white people, and there are a lot of deaths. I was gonna say the biggest problem. No, the absolute biggest problem is the extremely bad, woke, garbage writing. It is just awful. It is terrible. The direction and everything is adequate. It's very mediocre, but it's adequate. It's fine. But the writing just keeps you pulled out. Right from the very, very beginning. Okay, you have a first solid 2 minutes. It's an alright film. And then the rest of the 90-minute runtime is just woke, racist garbage. Jordan Peele, Nia DaCosta just showing showing just how racist they are towards white people, and showing just these are bad people in the world. They honestly believe they're not racist, writing garbage like this where they just kill off every white person possible. I had skepticisms before watching this film. The trailer itself was extremely mediocre, if not bad and terrible. I was intrigued, and it made me want to watch the first one before this new film. And I watched the original, and it was amazing. I have nothing negative to say about the original Candyman. I didn't watch the sequels because I'm sure they're just like Halloween, Friday the 13th. I'm sure they're terrible. But this new sequel that's set to be a sequel after the original Candyman is not a sequel. It has some narrative beats to be a sequel, but they screw up. They screw up the entire lore of the original Candyman. All of it. They screw it all up. You know, even Helen's death in the original Candyman, they screwed up what actually happened. It's like these people didn't actually watch the films for the story. They just watched it so that they could see the characters, know the characters, mostly to see who's white and who's black, and then go from there. This film is terrible. This is the worst film, at least that I've watched this year. It is nothing but woke, utter garbage that doesn't make any sense whatsoever. There are so many logical fallacies in this film. Like, for example, one plot device in this film is about a hand basically ripping itself apart, you know, implied that a hook is going to end up becoming that hand. Well, any sane freaking person will wake up, see that their skin is coming off, and instead of pulling it off and saying, ow, 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 a sane person would immediately go to a doctor's or a hospital. No, we spend 40 minutes of the main character just sitting there in different locations looking at his hand and then peeling his skin. Ow, ow, ow. Logical fallacies all over the place. Logical fallacies in the narrative all over the place. Extremely bad writing. This is probably the worst writing I have ever witnessed in a film. And I watched Drive Angry. And I actually enjoyed Drive Angry. Drive Angry's at least fun. Candyman is not a film. Candyman is a drive. It is a push. It is what the mob needs. And Candyman is just clear as day, just showing how absurd all of those ideologies are. Okay, if you look at actual murders by police and everything objectively in the real life, white people were actually the most killed off by police. So set that aside, but that's a fact. That is a fact, no argument. That's a fact. In the new Candyman, the cops are meant to be looked at as just hated because they see a black person and they immediately either murder them, handcuff them, or murder their friends and then force them to make a bribe to save their life. And there are one or two funny lines in this film that I did laugh, but they were still just jokes, just steered towards woke ideology. Of course, I can laugh at just about anything unless I feel that it's being forced at me. And 99% of this film, Candyman, was just so forced and ham-fisted. Even worse than labeling those. This film doesn't deserve those credits of being forced or ham-fisted. This film is terribly written, terrible dialogue. The acting is okay. It's serviceable. I would say thanks to the direction, but Nia DaCosta is a co-writer for Candyman, and Honestly, this film is shit. It is garbage. I can tolerate actual garbage films and still have fun. I did not have fun at all with this film. Okay, in the original Candyman, even in times when it was supposed to be gory, they actually had artistic value in the camera work, in the shots, in the depictions of blood, gore, and bodies. In this film, Candyman, they completely throw away artistic value, which is ironic because the main character is a freaking painting artist, and there's no artistic value to be found in this new Candyman. They base the horror, just like any other cliche generic horror film, into blood, guts, and gore. That's it. Even scenes where they're trying to show some artsy ways of killing and artsy camera work, it fails miserably. And it's because when people are murdered, it's because they make stupid choices, like about to screw each other, and then they look into a mirror. Oh, we should say that name. Please don't say that name. I want us to bang first, and then I don't want you to die. And then they say, and then they die. The bright side, at least they don't bang. That's one minor bright side I can say about this film. There's really only sexual innuendo in this film. That's the best I can give this film. That's it. And that's credit enough. The new Candyman is terrible. And I love reboots. I love remakes. I love sequels. I never thought that any sequel would be absolute garbage and just should cease to exist. But this sequel, Candyman 2021, honestly, it should cease to exist. It is woke to the extreme. It is racist to the extreme. Everything about Candyman is to the extreme in a negative way. Candyman for me, 0 out of 10. Awful. Please do not watch this. Spend money. Spend $5 renting the original Candyman. Spend $15 buying the original Candyman. That film is worth every penny. It is horror at its finest. The original Candyman, honestly, is even better than the original Halloween. It's obviously better than the first Friday the 13th. It's better than all of the Freddy Krueger films, A Nightmare on Elm Street. Watch the original Candyman. Don't worry about the new Candyman 2021. It's god-awful. I can't believe I spent like $9 watching this film. Not even halfway through, I was sitting in the nice reclined chair watching it, and there was a silent moment, and I'm pretty sure the whole entire theater could hear my whisper say, "This movie fucking sucks." And at the very end, when the credits rolled and the Candyman logo came in, what did I say? This movie fucking sucked. The people beside me agreed with me. Everything I just said, they 100% agreed with me. They said it took a little bit to get into. That's the best they could give me for this film. I can't really give this anything. This is a 0 out of 10. Candyman 2021, 0 out of 10. Please don't buy or rent or don't fund this film. Don't fund Jordan Peele. Get Out was a fun and entertaining film. I enjoyed Us as well. This film, Candyman, it's driven. It's a political push. It's a mob push. It's woke ideology at its extreme. This is woke garbage through and through. 0 out of 10. Thank you.